Hi everyone, Isabel Morton here with the Gemstone Therapy Institute. I'm here to talk today about benefits of healing diamonds, and there are so many things that diamond can do. I'm going to focus on just one thing, and that may be one of the, I was going to find a number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 most important benefits of healing diamonds, and that is liquidity. Liquidity is, yeah, it's a made up word, you might say. It has a very specific meaning in diamond therapy. And as I said, it's very important. I'm going to explain what it is and what it is not. But it is the only gemstone. It is the only thing that can produce this liquidity in the body. Now, there was a time where some people felt that aquamarine could also produce liquidity, but in trying to analyze why they thought so, I realized it was just a misunderstanding in the quality of aquamarine being a gemstone that can support moisture in the body. Liquidity is not moisture. It has nothing to do with moisture or moisture balance or water or how hydrated you are or dehydrated you are, although as water in the body does tend to correlate with how healthy an area is, there may be some corollary similarities and connections. But diamond is the only gemstone or member of the mineral kingdom that can produce liquidity in the body. What liquidity is the ability of the different parts of the body to resonate together, to come together, that's probably more of a result of liquidity. Liquidity is about how well they can recognize and connect with their blueprint truth, how well they're following their path. And so if you're a cell in the body, how well is the cell following the instructions that it has for doing its job? Organs and tissues and systems are liquid depending on how well they are performing their job too. So there can be very varying levels of liquidity. And that's kind of important too, because you can also measure liquidity. So let me just try to explain what this resonance means, because when you do have liquidity, you'll find that your body is going to communicate better among the parts of it that have this liquidity. They're going to work together better. The flows of energy between them will improve. Liquid areas are better at receiving what they need, knowing what they need, and also letting go what they don't need. That is very important when you're a molecule or a cell or even an organ or a system, as well as a whole person. And in diamond therapy and also gemstone therapy, we do recognize different aspects of oneself, even within the body, that can be isolated and measured independently just because their energetics are different. Rather than going into a rabbit hole about levels of manifestation, which I will talk about at some point, I want to stick with liquidity. All right, so liquidity, when we look very closely at just what is going on when, let's say we have two adjacent cells that are trying to find liquidity because a diamond is being applied to them in a way that promotes liquidity. A therapy diamond is also unique among gemstones in that it can be applied in a lot of different ways, and each way emphasizes a particular benefit of the stone. Okay, so you have one cell. I only have 5 fingers, but let's say there were 7, and each finger related to one of the 7 colors in the spectrum. So we have purple, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. And then the other cell also has the 7 colors in its spectrum, 7 color rays, the life-giving color. the life-giving life energy in its spectrum. And so when cells are not coherent, when they're not liquid together, those colors are not jiving. They're separate. The cells are almost speaking different languages. They're not resonating, they're not communicating, they're not able to share energy or nutrients or convey needs. And so as the diamond is applied in a way that produces liquidity, an area that is open to becoming liquid or liquidified, another word we came up with, each color is going to start finding its partner. And as the area becomes liquid, so here's like a partial liquidity. Well, that's pretty good. The cells have 3 colors they share that are talking to each other, and hence those colors are also talking to the colors in their blueprint spectrum. Right? So they're getting a partial message about what their purpose is in this life and how to navigate and how to become closer to their blueprint, how to become liquid in relation to their blueprint, how to resonate with their blueprint, how to become coherent with their blueprint, so that they're able to listen and follow the path that's going to take them in the most direct way possible to what they're here to be doing. And if it's a cell that needs to heal, well, so that cell can do what it needs to do. All right, so we have 3 portions, 3 colors of these 2 cells that are coherent with each other, resonating. And when you get the whole spectrum, let's say I have 7 fingers, 1 for each of the 7 colors, then I have maximum liquidity. It's really useful that you are able to measure liquidity. You do that with a diamond also. Here's an example. Let's say you're working with a particular target area. You have a client who wants to work with, let's say a shoulder is bothering them, and you determine how liquid that shoulder is. And let's say it's very liquid. Okay? Well, that means that the root cause of that shoulder pain is not in the shoulder, because that is the shoulder's communicating with its blueprints. There's, from a mystical viewpoint, you might say that that shoulder is hurting for a purpose to help you become more aligned with your blueprints, learn something, be more caring, perhaps more compassionate with yourself, or whatever. It could be 100 different reasons. But as a practitioner, it also lets you know that you can now find another area that is not liquid, that is associated with the shoulder, that you can work with to support shoulder pain. Because just because there's an area hurting and you can say, well, yeah, it's teaching me a lesson. Well, that's not good enough for me. Yes, I respect the lessons that life has to teach me, and I'm all ears and all eyes to be able to receive and learn and grow and become a better human being. But I'm also aware that if someone is coming to me for help, or if I'm wanting to work with myself to improve my health, and I have a diamond that I can work with, and I find that my shoulder, although it hurts, is not liquid, well, then I want to find the areas that can receive the diamond so that I can support the healing of this area. So it can be very, very helpful to be able to do that. And what I find is so fascinating working with the diamonds is that the areas of liquidity in the body tend to be very random or seemingly random, and they appear in various patches. And as the diamond is applied, those patches start to come together. They start coming together, so small patches start spreading. And they can spread in different ways. For example, if there's just a couple of colors that are liquid, it's possible that those few liquid colors, the information about that spreads. Or it may be that certain individual areas will become maximally liquid first and deepen their liquidity, refine their liquidity before it starts spreading. So I just find that just so fascinating because each individual person, their body has its own way of receiving liquidity and taking their journey to greater health. Now, a thought just occurred to me that I need to clarify. So if the area that's painful, and I'm saying, let's say it's my shoulder, if it is not liquid, then I know that the disharmony, the imbalances are in the shoulder, and I can apply diamond therapy or whatever other modality I might be using to the shoulder. And likely that's gemstone therapy because those are the only training I have. But if it is liquid, I know that, okay, the shoulder is in harmony with its blueprints. So what else is related to that area that is not liquid? And that's the area that I would focus on and try to bring into liquidity with the target area, with the shoulder. So I just wanted to clarify that. Sometimes I stumble over my words. Okay, so let's see. What else? If there's anything else to say. Oh, yes. So we're talking about color. Spectrums of color in the body, so spectrums of color rays, the life-giving color rays, they're held together by sound. The light is held by a sound matrix. They're two different things, but they need each other. The sound needs the light, and the light needs the sound, and they work together to nourish your body and to keep it alive. That light and sound is what keeps your body alive and healthy and resonating with its blueprints. And what I'm finding very interesting is that as you work with a diamond, especially over time, and I'm seeing this with some of my more advanced students who are also clients, is that the liquid areas that are accustomed to the color liquidity goes to another level. They start uniting under the same umbrella of sound. It's one way to say it. Using other words, the spectrums unite under the same sound matrix so that the same sound matrix carries all the colors. And that is really important because then it can let you know let the body know and the body's intelligence centers know when something's off. It's a lot easier to hear when something's off. And what happens when this sound matrix begins uniting with the rainbow resonance, the color ray spectrum resonance, is that the individual becomes more self-assured, more self-confident, more who they are as an individual, less fearful of expressing needs, less fearful of expressing self, more in harmony with life around them. And I think that's just so fascinating to watch. In a session, when working with individual areas of need, something like that happens on a smaller level, where in working with a particular organ or area of the body, especially over time, that same kind of thing begins to happen, where that particular area, again, let's say it's the shoulder, begins to be less the victim or the effect of circumstances and more in control of their own experience. Okay, I'm hurting. I want the body to know I need help. Oh, and the rest of the body says, oh, okay, thank you for letting us know. And the required nutrients and healing energies can be redirected to that area. And in a healthy person, that happens all the time. All the time. It's fascinating how that happens. And all this is because there is a connection with blueprint. And the easiest way to make that blueprint connection is using a therapy diamond and applying it in such a way as to promote the sense of liquidity in the body. And wherever you apply it, different points allow different access areas. There's ways to bring liquidity into the chakra system, ways to focus it inside the body in the internal organs. There's ways to focus it in your relationship to earth, in your relationship with sky and heaven above, or divine energy, however you want to look at that. And also individual areas. So it's just so fascinating. One of the things that I find truly remarkable about working with the diamonds, there's so much they can teach. All right, well, thank you so much for listening. I hope that this maybe sparked your curiosity about diamonds. So if it has, please take a look at my other videos. My name is Isabel Morton, the founder of the Gemstone Therapy Institute. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone that you love. And I hope to see you in my next video. And until then, best wishes on your journey to greater health. Bye for now.